Welcome back to another video. First off, let's celebrate 1,500 subscribers. Last couple videos did very well, so instead of champagne or beer, we're gonna have ourselves a nice little can of Fresca, the champagne of sugar-free drinks. Cheers, thank you. Absolutely delicious. We talked pretty recently about the Studio display monitor and also the Mac Studio. If you haven't checked those videos out, please check them out. Nice, a car just drove by as I was saying that, not gonna redo it. But yeah, big thing specifically within the Studio display review that I talked about was that I wanted something that would simplify my desk setup. I'm just someone that definitely suffers from some sort of ADHD, and I need a very simple, clean setup to completely remove myself from distractions. And in particular with the Studio display, we said that if we're gonna use this monitor, it's not so much that the monitor itself is the reason why you should purchase it, but it's the quality of life improvements that this monitor offers to you, because you get to remove a lot of stuff from your desk. Things like speakers, an external webcam, and even to an extent for some people, a microphone. And also its beautiful design just creates a workspace environment that is inviting and welcoming and something that really makes you want to just sit down and get things done. And so to prove that thesis, I redid my entire office around this new setup. I just was really tired of my previous desk setup, and I thought it was way too messy and clunky and ugly, and I just was not motivated to make anything when I sat down at that desk. So it was time for a refresh. And this is something that you can do constantly. I know that this iteration of this desk is not going to be the last either. I need to go through seasons basically of a desk to stay motivated, to stay fresh, and to stay excited about the things that I'm creating at the place that I'm creating them. As I went into this build for this desk, one of my biggest references was the desk from Her. I just love the way this looks in this apartment with the wood and the warm light, and it just felt like some place where I was like, God, I wish that's where I want to work. If I'm working from home and I'm doing stuff, that's the desk I want to sit at. So everything and all my decisions that I made with this was sort of influenced by that movie and that scene in particular with that desk. I just think it looks gorgeous. And so of course at the center of every desk is your actual machine. Now this could be a laptop, this could be a PC. For me, it is the Mac Studio with the M1 Max chip and 64 gigs of RAM and the new Apple Studio display. Now you'll see I've mounted the Studio display on top of the Mac Studio, and throughout my different configurations and testing, I still think this is the best way to use this setup. It's gonna free up more surface area on your desk, but more so, I didn't have to purchase the adjustable height version of this display because I can just use the height of the Mac Studio to create the optimal viewing height for this display. I haven't had any negative side effects of putting the display on top of the computer, so if it's something you want to try, please go right ahead, but again, use at your own risk. A couple weeks in now, just really quickly, this monitor is still my favorite monitor I've ever owned. And I actually think it's one of the best things that Apple has made in a very long time. It's just so well built. The display is beautiful. The speakers sound great. The webcam is more than good enough for video calls and conferencing. And overall, it just looks absolutely beautiful on your desk. Now, because I have so much real estate now, because I don't have to put speakers or anything on my desk either, I have a little bit more room for toys now on this desk. We'll start with the M1 iPad Pro. I'm basically using this as an external XDR display for my Mac Studio setup. I think this is an excellent iPad, of course, but more than anything, I just really think it's a great external display. I've done a video on using this as an external display for your 14-inch MacBook Pro or even your 16-inch MacBook Pro, and I just think Sidecar is a really great software implementation of an external display, and I love that it's still also just an iPad that I can pick up and use as an iPad. Add in the fact that we now have universal control as well means I can have a separate machine that's a little bit more dedicated to perhaps email or Twitter or iMessage, and it's separated from my actual main machine, which is mainly used for working. And I'm using this really nice wood Grove-made iPad stand for the display itself. Now on the same side as the iPad, I have the UGG Monk analog system. This is hands down my favorite productivity system because it's the most simple. I've tried so many different note apps and just things that you can use online for task managers, all that kind of crap. And for me, look, all I need is a pen and some paper, and I really like the system that UGG Monk has came up with here. Basically, you just make a checklist and a to-do list for the things that you need to do in a very elegant and beautiful way within this nice wood container, and they also make their own cards for this system that you can purchase refills for. I am a huge fan of UGG Monk stuff, but analog by far is my favorite product that they make. In terms of peripherals, this is kind of funky. I was using an MX Master 3 mouse, but I have had issues with Sidecar and the MX Master 3. So I am switching back to the original Apple Magic Mouse, specifically the black iteration of it. And I don't love this mouse, but it is the most well implemented within Mac OS, and especially to use with Sidecar. So I'm hoping Logitech updates some stuff to make the MX Master 3 work a little bit better with Sidecar, but in the meantime, I'm just back to using the Magic Mouse, unfortunately. But I am still using the MX Master keys. This is one of my favorite keyboards I've ever owned. I like that it has a numpad. I also like that if you were to switch to PC, which I do on occasion, it has all the layouts for Mac and PC. Just really nice key travel, really great looking keyboard. Excellent battery life. I think I charge this thing like maybe once every couple months, but I have no plans to upgrade this keyboard. I'm not a big fan of mechanical keyboards, and this keyboard has just really worked well for me. Also from Logitech, I have this charger that lets me charge my iPhone, my AirPods, and also my Apple Watches. And so this is just a nice little 3-in-1 charger from Logitech. I love it. It's wireless. It works great. I've never had issues with overheating things. It charges at a decent rate. I'm not really into MagSafe charge and all that stuff. I like having a central base station. And this has just been a really great, elegant solution to charge my wireless Apple devices. I also use a set of AirPods Max sometimes when I just want to get into some spatial audio and zone out, and I have those on a Grove-made stand as well. And look, I love AirPods Max. I've done a review on them. They're great headphones. Absolutely not for everybody. Totally a luxury item and not necessary, but they look great on the desk, and I do love the way these headphones sound. Now, I have a lot more real estate on this desk now, so I can also keep my 14-inch MacBook Pro here if I need it. Now, this desk that I'm using is the Autonomous Smart Desk 2, but I've put my own custom top on it from IKEA. So this is just a bamboo wood top that I put on the legs of an Autonomous Smart Desk 2. I've done a complete review of this on my main channel a couple years ago, and I still to this day think it's one of the best bang for your buck standing desk. I just needed a new surface for it, something that had a little bit more surface area, and I was switching from white to something a little bit more cozy and warm with this bamboo wood. And for a $99 top from IKEA, I think it looks wonderful. It literally took me less than half an hour to go from the original top to this new IKEA bamboo one, and it only cost me $100. So I think that's a bit of a no-brainer, and it looks way better than the white desk that was there before. Now I want to talk a little bit about some extra sort of life quality improvement things that I think you can do to your desk, regardless of your machine or your peripherals, all that stuff, which is completely unique to what you need to use. There are some universal things that I think will help your desk feel more inviting and more welcoming to actually get work done. And the first of those things is lighting. Lighting is absolutely crucial for the ambience of your desk. And unfortunately within YouTube and the tech world, everyone has gone down this path of like RGB lighting, pink, red, green, all these sort of crazy colors. And I think if you really want a cozy, inviting, warm environment, just go with nice, simple lamps. I have a whole essay on lamps on my main channel talking about lamps within filmmaking, but all the principles of why lamps work so well for filmmaking also applies to your own living space. Ambient lighting is one of the most crucial things within architecture, and especially when it comes to a desk, it's where you sit all day. So you really don't want eye strain, you don't want fatigue from crazy bright overhead lights. You want something simple and clean and beautiful. And I just think having a couple lamps on your desk really adds to the whole experience of wanting to make things at your desk and feeling good throughout that entire process as well, especially if you don't have much natural light in your space. Lamps are a great way just to feel warm and cozy and comfortable that you want to get stuff done. Not that you're going to fall asleep because it's so cozy, but you just want that nice, clean, warm light that isn't distracting or overly bright. While we're talking about lighting as well, BenQ sent me their new screen bar halo, and this is a really nice light that goes on top of your monitor to add some ambience to your desk. What makes the halo even more unique is that it has a light on the back. So if your desk was up against a wall, it's actually gonna lighten up the wall behind your screen, which helps with eye fatigue, and it's gonna feel a lot better. And also, like we said with the lamps, it's gonna make your space a little bit more inviting. The really nice thing about this monitor light is it has a wireless control panel, which is gonna let you set color temperature, the brightness, all with this really nice wireless rotating display dial. But I was never really a huge fan of monitor lights until I tried this one. And I think this one's actually really great, and it really adds to the ambience of your space and your display. Now, the last thing on my desk that I think is completely iffy, and I'm probably gonna get rid of it, is this giant plant. I'm just sort of trying to figure out a plant solution for the desk. I just love having greenery around me. I think it's a mood enhancer and it makes me feel good. I just don't like how this is on the desk right now, so I need to find a plant or something that can sit beside it and go nice and tall. But I also like how a plant looks in the background, so maybe it'll stay for a little bit, maybe it won't. And I'm not talking about those stupid little silly plants that people get from IKEA, the fake ones. Get something real, get a nice real plant for your desk. It's gonna emit some oxygen, you're gonna feel the vibes from it. It's just a really nice way to mood lift your environment. Now, links to everything that I've talked about in this video are in the description. If you have any questions about this desk build or the quality of life improvements that can be brought to your desk, please let me know in the comments. Cheers to all 1,500 of you, whoever is at this point in time of this video of subscribes. That sentence made absolutely no sense. I'm gonna have a swig of this. And I think that's gonna wrap up this video. Thanks so much. Cheers.
I lay in my bed, staring at the ceiling,